Anxiety and depressive disorders affect millions of people. A doctor's care is very important, but along with medical help, there are self-care techniques that can make a huge difference. Madisyn Taylor is co-founder of the popular website Daily Om and the author of Unmedicated, the 4 Pillars of Natural Wellness. Welcome. How are you doing?
Wonderful.
And so we want to emphasize, nobody's saying don't go to the doctor, don't listen to the doctor. These are additional things that we can do.
Absolutely. I'm just sharing my story from the heart, what worked for me. And I'm actually getting email from people saying they're bringing the book to their doctor and saying, let's work together on this.
Let's talk about the whole spectrum of possible solutions. So you've had your experiences suffering a bit from anxiety, right? Which lots of people do.
Yes, anxiety and depression from an early age. I actually had my first panic attack in the 3rd grade, which is really early. And it's because I was born in a household with my father who was manic depressive, undiagnosed, bipolar possibly, we really don't know, and he was a rageaholic. And so I took all that in. And with it,
you were traumatized by his behavior.
Absolutely, a shy little girl with no one to talk to and having no skill set. Well, it comes out later in life as depression and anxiety, and that's what happened to me.
So how did you approach treatment, and then later how did you approach wellness?
Yes, so I ended up actually with chronic fatigue syndrome, I think in part because of these unprocessed emotions. And I was very, very sick, and I went to a neurologist and he said, Madisyn, you're the sickest person I've ever seen and I have no idea what's wrong with you. Here's a little green pill, it's called Prozac. And so I took it and I had energy for the first time in my life. But what happened is I would max out on the dose and then I would have to switch to a different medicine and then max out on that dose. And here I was on the hamster wheel. And I said, I need to get off this hamster wheel. I can't live my life like this anymore. I'm in my early 20s. I don't want to feel like a zombie on these meds. And so I took my healing into my own hands, and the result of that is the book, Unmedicated.
What did you do?
So the antidepressants actually gave me enough energy to get out of the house, and that was big for me because I was housebound and bedbound a lot. And I walked into a store that was playing this really nice meditation music, and I said, give me that CD. And I decided that every day I'm going to listen to this CD, and it wasn't even a guided meditation, it was just meditation music. And after about a month of listening to that every day, I started to feel a shift. I started to feel more space in my head, and I sort of heard the whisper. I heard my soul self saying, we need more of this. And so that led me to starting a full meditation practice, which is the first pillar.
Exactly. So let's talk about, there are 4 pillars, and hopefully we'll have enough time, but let me run through them. Clear your mind, which sounds so easy. How do you do it?
So it is meditation.
My mind's very busy.
Well, so is mine, and I was the worst meditator in the world. I actually started meditating lying down, which every teacher says, don't do that, you'll fall asleep. But you know what? That's all I could do. I was so unhealthy, and so I started meditating lying down, and pretty soon I was able to meditate sitting up. And the word doesn't have to scare people. It simply means clearing your thoughts, taking a breath, 10 to 20 minutes a day, still your mind. And that creates the space for the good stuff to come in.
And you get better at it as you go, right?
It's called a practice for a reason.
Yeah, exactly. Nurture your spirit.
Yes, so this is really about journaling, getting those thoughts out of our busy brains and onto the page. And you don't need to be a writer. We don't care if you have bad handwriting. We don't care if you misspell your words. Just do it. Get the thoughts out of your head and onto the paper. And what that does is it slows down your brain enough to get to the thoughts that you ordinarily wouldn't want to think when you're just thinking the thoughts. And so you're on your sofa with your blanket and your cup of tea in a really safe place, and you're able to access those emotions and feelings that are hidden that have either made you sick or depressed or have you on meds to start the healing process.
Your 3rd pillar is strengthening your body, and I think we basically understand that, so I want to spend some time on number 4, which is find your tribe. Find your tribe.
So we aren't meant to go through this world, this thing called life, alone, and so many of us, especially if we suffer from anxiety and depression, we isolate. and that's a big no-no. We need to reach out to friends, and we also need our friends to help keep us accountable for our actions. And so when we're feeling down and we can't get off the sofa, we can't get out of bed, we're in the gloom and the rain of Seattle, pick up the phone and call a friend and connect. It's not as good email and phone call. I really prefer in-person contact if possible, but just connecting with people and start creating a tribe around yourself of other healthy, like-minded people that are positive.
That is wonderful. Thank you so much. You can also find more on Madisyn's Daily Own website. She is going to share her experiences and discuss her book this Friday, February 16th at Bastyr University Bookstore in Kenmore. And as always, further details are on our website. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Talking with us. When we come back, the toys of our childhood in giant size. Giant toys. What's not to like after that?